Please rise. Today is 15th day of May in the year 2024. The Frisco Municipal Court is now in session with the Honorable Judge Ron Carlson presiding.
Please be seated. Welcome to this our May session. For many of you, it's the first time in court, at least first time in this court. Court procedures require that I call everybody to stand individually, advise you of the nature of the charges against you, which I simply read the name of the charge. If you don't feel that tells you the general nature as opposed to specific facts. It doesn't tell you the general nature, I can read the statutory definition. Secondly, I'm required to tell you the maximum possible penalty. So far, nobody's been able to get that. Third, I am asked to ask you questions to make sure you've read and understood your legal rights, and then we can get to handle your case. It may seem a long way to get to the bottom line, but it's designed to make sure everybody knows why they're here and what their legal rights are, so that whatever choices you've made as to how to handle your case are knowledgeable and done of your own free will. That being said, the first case I have is Carla Williams. Could you come to the podium, ma'am? Good afternoon. Ma'am, you were summoned to court for allegedly violating Model Traffic Code Section 1101 speeding 20 to 39 miles an hour over the posted limit. Do you understand the nature of the charge of speeding?
I do, sir.
The maximum penalty in this case is a fine of up to $2,650 of the scheduled fine. It's less, and 6 points on your driving record, and that's it because you're not 25 over, you're allegedly 20 over. For those who are 25 over, it's also a Class B traffic misdemeanor, which has a possible 10-day jail sentence. You were provided the written advisement of legal rights. Did you get a chance to read and review those rights?
I did.
Do you have any questions about those rights? Do you feel you understand them? Do you know what a trial is? And you understand you have a right to an attorney. I have paperwork that says instead of a trial, you wish to enter into an agreement to plead to a 3-point special hazard speeding, also known as speeding too fast for conditions. Is that correct? You understand that by pleading guilty to the amended charge, you are giving up all the rights listed in the right sheet, which means there'll be no trial, there'll be no witnesses. The prosecutor will not have to prove you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. You are giving up your presumption of innocence and right to an attorney.
Yes, sir.
Did anybody threaten you, force you, coerce you, or otherwise make you plead guilty against your will?
It did not.
Did anybody promise you anything in addition that's not been said in court?
Yeah.
Is this your free and voluntary plea?
It is.
And are you under the influence of anything that affects your ability to make a decision?
No.
Now that I've covered all those qualifying questions, how do you plead this 3-point speeding?
Guilty.
Court accepts your plea, finding you freely, voluntarily, and knowingly made. You're entitled to and you're welcome to, but you're also not required to make a statement either about what happened or what the penalty should be. Is there anything you'd like to say?
Yes.
Okay. I'll just look at the ticket briefly. It looks like your last ticket was 2016. That's been a while ago. Therefore, reduce the fine to $125, but there's $25 court costs and $30 surcharge. Back up to 180, but it's still better than where you started.
Thank you, sir.
All right, if you see my court clerk Janet, she can finish out your file. Good afternoon.
Your Honor, I have a question for you.
Sure.
I have a defendant who was wishing to speak with me prior to arraignment. And she's with someone who I think is her sister, but she doesn't speak English.
Okay.
And I'm wondering if we're okay with proceeding with the sister translating, or if I need to tell them that they need to come back when Patty's here to translate.
Your Honor, there was no indication that they need an interpreter. We can get an interpreter service on the phone if you'd like.
Yeah, we can call language line and proceed that way. I think as far as talking to you, the sister's fine. I think as far as the court proceedings, we'll get language line and use
Okay.
that.
All right, perfect.
All right.
Thank you.
Scott Myers. Mr. Myers, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Judge.
Sir, you were summoned to court to answer allegations that supposedly violated model traffic code section 604, failure to obey a traffic control signal. Do you understand the charge? It carries a maximum penalty of $2,650 and 4 points on your driving record. Do you understand the maximum penalty?
Yes,
You were provided a written advisement of legal rights. Did you get a chance to read and review those rights?
yes,
Do you have any questions about those rights? Do you feel you understand them?
yes,
You know what a trial is?
yes,
And you understand you have a right to an attorney.
yes,
Paperwork that says instead of all that, you wish to enter into agreement to plead to an amended charge of a 3-point special hazard speeding. Is that correct?
correct.
You understand by doing that, you would be giving up all the rights listed on the right sheet, which would mean there would be no trial, there would be no witnesses, the prosecutor would not have to prove you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. You are giving up your presumption of innocence and right to an attorney.
Yes,
Did anybody threaten you, force you, coerce you, or otherwise make you plead guilty against your will?
No.
Did anybody promise you anything not said in court?
No.
Is this your free and voluntary plea?
yes,
Are you under the influence of anything that affects your ability to make a decision?
no,
Now, which would cover the required question, how do you plead to 3-point speeding? Court accepts your plea, find you freely, voluntarily, and knowingly made. You are entitled to and you're welcome to make a comment either about what happened or what the penalty should be, but you're also not required to. Is there anything you'd like to tell me?
no,
Okay. Let me read the police report briefly for a factual basis. All right.
Can I give the fund next week then?
Yes, we can give you a payment plan or just a stay to pay it next week.
Okay,
So, I will make that $100 fine, $25 cost, $30 surcharge for a total of $155.
thank you.
I think the end of next week is the 24th.
Yes,
Please see my court clerk for paperwork.
yeah, I cut my hair. You saw me at the grocery store 3 weeks ago. Stop. You're like, nice hair. But it was down to here, remember?
Yeah.
You always see me at the store.
Yeah.
Thank you, Judge.
Mainly, is it odor? Good afternoon. Ma'am, you were summoned to court to answer allegations that you supposedly violated model traffic code section 1101 speeding 20 to 39 miles an hour over the posted limit. Do you understand the nature of the charge of speeding?
Yes,
The maximum penalty is a possible fine of up to $2,650 and 6 points on your driving record. And you are also less than 25 miles an hour, so that's the extent of the possible penalty. Do you understand the possible penalty?
yes,
You were provided a written advisement of legal rights. Did you get a chance to read and review your rights?
yes,
Do you have any questions about those rights? Do you feel you understand them?
yes,
Do you know what a trial is?
yes,
And you understand you have a right to an attorney.
yes,
I have paperwork that says you, the prosecutor, wish to agree that you would plead guilty to a 3-point special hazard speeding. Is that what you want to do?
Yes, I talked to an attorney in Denver and they had me take this driving class.
Oh, very good. Very good.
Do you want to look at it?
When we get to the sentencing, yes, I have to go through the checklist first, and you're just getting a little ahead of me, that's all. You understand that by pleading guilty to 3-point speeding, that you are giving up all the rights listed in the right sheet. That means there'll be no trial, there'll be no witnesses. The prosecutor will not have to prove you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. You are giving up your presumption of innocence and right to an attorney.
Okay.
Did anybody threaten you, force you, coerce you, or otherwise get you to plead guilty? Did anybody promise you anything that's not been said in court? Is this your free and voluntary plea?
Yes.
Are you under the influence of anything that affects your ability to make a decision?
Yeah.
Now, we've covered those qualified questions. How do you plead to 3-point speeding?
Guilty.
Court accepts your plea, finding freely, voluntarily, and knowingly. This is the point where you get to make a statement, and I can take your class certificate, but you're welcome to make a further statement, but you're also not required to. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
I was hoping it would get my points lower and I would just pay the full ticket. I don't know if that's possible, but that's what I was told.
Well, every court handles it. As far as the points, that's up to the prosecutor. And if you want to go back, you can talk to him if you didn't bring this up with him.
I did.
But he gets to determine the points and I get to determine the dollars.
I see.
So
Okay.
a little bit different than what the attorney may have told you or how things are in the Denver area.
Yeah.
But I appreciate that you took the class. And I know that costs money, so, all right. So, you can return to the podium. Is there anything else you want to tell me?
No.
All right. In light of the fact you took the class, I will impose a $75 fine, $25 court costs, and $30 surcharge for a total of $130. Can you pay that today or do you need time?
I'll pay it today.
All right, please see my court clerk.
Thank you.
Dustin Detweiler. Mr. Detweiler, you were summoned to court to answer allegations that you supposedly violated Frisco Ordinance 127-1 harassment. Do you understand the nature of the charge of harassment?
Yes, sir.
The maximum possible penalty for ordinance offenses is a possible fine of up to $2,650 and or 364 days in jail or a combination of both. Do you understand the possible maximum penalty?
Yes, sir.
You were provided a written advisement of legal rights. Did you get a chance to read and review those legal rights?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions about those rights?
No,
Do you feel you understand them?
yes, sir.
Do you know what a trial is?
Yes,
You
sir.
understand you have a right to an attorney?
Yes, sir.
I have paper that says instead of a trial, you wish to enter into an agreement, what's called a deferred judgment and sentence agreement. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
You understand the way this works is you are expected to state a plea of guilty to the original charge of harassment. However, that guilty plea will go to a temporary court record you call a deferred record. If you satisfy and complete the conditions, which the only conditions I see that the prosecutor is asking for is to not have any other criminal offenses. At the end of a 12-month period, the case would be dismissed and automatically sealed from public view under Colorado statutes. On the other hand, if at any time it's alleged you're violating the terms of the agreement, you'd be summoned to court for a hearing about the terms of the agreement. If it was found you violate the conditions, then the guilty plea would move to the permanent court record and you would be subject to being resentenced. After today, you can never again have a trial about what happened. The only future court, if any, would be about the conditions. Do you understand that procedure?
Yes, sir.
Very good. You understand by pleading guilty, you are giving up all the rights listed in the right sheet, which means there'll be no trial, there'll be no witnesses. The prosecutor will not have to prove you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. You are giving up your presumption of innocence and right to an attorney.
Yes, sir.
Did anybody threaten you, force you, coerce you, or otherwise make you plead guilty against your will?
No, Your Honor.
Did anybody promise you anything that's not been said in court?
No, Your Honor.
Is this your free and voluntary plea?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of anything that affects your ability to make a decision?
No, Your Honor.
Now we've covered the qualifying questions. How do you plead to the charge of harassment?
Guilty, Your Honor.
The court accepts your plea, find to be freely, voluntarily, and knowingly made, and defers it for a period of 12 months. You're entitled to make a statement either about what happened or what the penalty should be, but you're also not required to say anything further. Is there anything you'd like to tell me?
No, Your Honor.
Let me read the police report to verify there was some factual basis. Okay, I don't think this is so bad that I need to record. Often we require anger management class. It seems to be a one-off kind of thing, so I'm not going to order a class.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I will impose $125 fine, $25 court costs, and $30 surcharge for a total of $180. Can you afford to pay that?
Not today, Your Honor.
How much time would you need?
Finally, I'd say, can I have 2 to 3 months?
Okay. I will also allow you, if you have, I don't know if you're employed, if you're not, if you have spare time, you can also satisfy this by doing community service and getting credit for $20 an hour for community service with any charity. That's all right.
First bit of fine, Your Honor.
Okay, that's
Thank you.
fine. Let's make this due, I'll put it 90 days out, though I would like to see monthly payments of some kind, but a deadline of our, see, we have in court every other month. I have to stop with that.
July
Yeah.
17th would be the next court
Yep.
date.
Can you get it paid by July 17th?
Yes, sir.
Or appear back here to get an extension and explain your circumstances.
Yes, sir.
All right. All right, please see my court clerk for paperwork.
Great, thank you.
That appears to be all the active files we have at the moment, so we'll, oh, one more coming.
That's wrong, we need the interpreter. I don't have a plea agreement though.
This is the interpreter case?
Yeah,
Okay, we'll take a moment. That's fine.
do you want the interpreter on the phone?
I don't think if we're gonna continue, we need to do that.
He's already continued once, Your Honor.
Two strikes. I have five names on the ticket, so I don't know where to start. Is it Helen, Stefani, Juanita, Chacoboto? What is your name?
Helen, Choc.
Okay, could you come to the podium? I understand your sister's translating for you, but you speak some English. Is that correct? No, you're looking, could you come up now?
I'm her partner?
I'm gonna give you an interpreter's oath.
Yeah, she knows about it.
Okay, well, you know, I need to give you, if you're gonna interpret, I need to give you an oath.
Oh,
I need you to raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear you will faithfully translate each and every word stated verbatim from English to Spanish and Spanish to English to the best of your ability under penalty of perjury?
yes, I do.
Now, I understand you're asking for a continuance to postpone this to our next court session in order to get proof of insurance. Is that correct?
Dice que él entiende que tú estás pidiendo más tiempo para que te lo extiendan para agarrar un probante. Es correcto.
Sí, es correcto.
Your case has been postponed once before. This is the last time I can postpone.
Dice que tu caso ya te lo pusieron una vez, que esta va a ser la última vez.
Understood?
Entiendo.
And we will note this, so we'll have an interpreter or language line available for an official interpreter, but for postponing it, I don't think we need an official interpreter.
Dice que van a poner para pero que para esto
Unless you're requesting an official interpreter.
al menos que quieras. She wants an intro.
Today?
No, next week.
Okay. That's what I was trying to make clear. All right, we will see you here
July 17th.
July 17th. Okay, please see my court clerk for paper.
Thank you.
Notes or
Oh.
you want to read Spanish on? Okay. Good. Now the court's out of files.
Prosecutor has one more case in there.
We have a pretty tame session for you to observe.
I'm sorry, sir.
We have a pretty tame session for you to observe.
Yeah, that's a good thing though.
It is.
Have you met Officer Sprong?
I don't remember being introduced before.
This is Josh Sprong. He is the master of writing tickets
The master of writing tickets.
and legible tickets, I might add.
Well, that distinguishes you a lot.
This is Ron Carlson, our
That's where you're
judge.
from?
Well, how do I want to classify that? So, born in South Dakota, consider Wyoming home, but
Nice.
yeah.
Welcome.
Lives in Johnstown.
Yeah, so I commute every day.
That's a long commute.
That is,
Well,
so,
welcome to the Central Mountains,
yeah, I like
as
this.
opposed to the Front Range.
This is a very good learning environment.
I'm glad. I'm glad you're finding it that way.
He has caught more people going 20 over on I-70 and in Frisco.
That's good.
There's so many.
I swear people are getting faster out there.
It's getting bad.
I mean, for a while I thought it was my age group, but I decided after trying to be objective about it that everybody's driving fast.
No, like when I go home tonight, I'll have the patrol car with me. I'll get on I-25. I'll actually have people like will line up with me and then we'll take off doing $130 and put on the blinders, but it's rough.
Well, are we recording that?
No. I paused.
To be honest, I mean, I drive 5 to 9.
I don't even look at 9 over.
And well, that's why I drive that. But people pass me like I'm still, they're going past me another 10 in addition to what I'm doing.
That's the last one, isn't it,
Yeah,
Tracy?
because right now we only have five.
What was that?
That's the last one, isn't it?
When we get
No.
new cars, we're supposed to have.
Who else do we have?
Okay.
But we don't trust and see what I can get.
Did he just-
After him, we have
Right,
one more.
yeah.
Oh,
Because there was one the other
Yeah,
day,
and
we
people-
estimated his speed at being over 80 miles an hour going down Summit Boulevard.
So we're up to
35
Alex
hours.
Blakely, and then we
one of
have these
days
other
we're gonna
ones,
get some
Um,
education.
Well, that's the problem.
no plea agreement on here.
And, you know, I've been real clear in my other course. I have 7 different little
I
mini
have no idea.
judge sections.
You just
So
handed it
4
to
of them
me.
are one day in Grand County, that's tomorrow, tomorrow's Grand County.
There.
I do them all, they don't pay enough, but I line them all up.
Want me to ask them about that?
8:30, 10.
So it's cost effective.
1:30,
Yeah, if you
cost
wouldn't
effective.
mind.
And it keeps it down, cost down for them. But emphasizing, when it's more than 25, it's a Class B traffic misdemeanor with 10 days jail. And I've been insisting that doesn't really apply here, but in my other courts that I advise people first, because I at least want to scare them with the jail. Because people just going way too fast.
So I don't know what I shouldn't say to them when I do it, because Muni, if I write to Muni, it's what, 20 to 40 is
2039.
It's just one ticket.
yeah, it's all looped in the same. If I
Yeah.
write them in the county, it's an automatic summons if they're over 25, so it's.
Yeah. And that's why, because it's a Class B
Yeah.
traffic.
He's
misdemeanor,
just
10 days jail.
pleading guilty.
Yeah, I
No,
know that.
actually, pretty much.
I try to
Oh,
talk
okay.
I don't
to
know
a
if
lot
he's
of
gonna
the kids, like
Wants to
I
park
don't
down the
really
street
like kids that
somewhere.
are 18, 19 years old, because I feel like the insurance is more punitive
Yeah,
than what it should be.
yeah,
Not
that's
my,
reasonable.
it's not my right to say that, but it's
Oh.
my beliefs. But but like today, I got a guy doing 60 coming out of construction zone, and he didn't care.
Yeah,
Just like, I'm late for me, and you need to hurry up. I'm like, okay, whatever, man.
yeah.
And you go slower then.
I don't go slower, no. I just
But
write.
the other thing I need
But
to
you're
talk to
right.
Nick about, on the 6-pointers, I didn't do it tonight, but I really want to see a driving class. Because that's a punishment. Takes up more of their time, more of their money.
Yeah, I get asked that a lot. Can I just take a driving class and make this go in? I'm like, no, I'm not the prosecutor, I'm not the
No,
judge.
not in
That's-
Colorado. The problem, people hear about, because that's true in Arizona.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
People
Yeah.
call all the time asking if they can do that.
yeah, well, they hear about it. I mean,
Well, like one girl said she had an attorney that told her to take driving class and she did it.
yeah. Well, it depends on the court too. I mean, some will reduce points based on that. I mean, she did get a 3-point reduction. I mean, I don't know how low she thought her points should be, but.
I think she thought they would be wiped.
But
Can I pay more and get the points taken?
I don't know why they're so worried about the points. I mean, I've seen some people with a ton of traffic tickets and they don't use their license.
Rates go up.
No, I don't think that even matters. I think they just see the charge on there and that's what the insurance company goes on.
Yeah.
I don't even think they care if there's a.
I think insurance companies actually don't look at driving records anymore. They just look at accidents.
Really?
That's my impression. I don't know that. That's my impression.
It's crazy with some of these people. I pull their driving history and it's just like, you just don't even care.
Yeah.
It's just like that one kid, but I got him doing 69 in a 35, wrote him for reckless and he comes in and pays it. 2 months later, Caleb gets him doing 50 something, doesn't care. I mean, even the first ticket alone should have suspended his license
Yeah.
based on the points of the system, and they didn't do it.
Interesting.
So,
Not good.
There's-
Well, keep up the good work out there.
no, I appreciate it. Nice meeting you,
You
sir.
sir, take care.
Thank
Watch
you.
that long commute.
Yeah.
This has no plea agreement. Just going to take the charges,
Okay.
but he would get his phone back. So we're not sure what's gonna happen with that.
Okay.
And I don't have any more cases.
Court will be back on record. You need to fire that thing up there.
Back on the record, Your Honor.
All right, court will be back on record at about 5:22 p.m. Court will call Alexander Lady. Is that how you say your name, sir? Lady. Yes, sir. Come to the podium, sir. Sir, you've been summoned to court to answer 2 charges. It's alleged that first, that you violated Model Traffic Code Section 703, failure to stop at a stop sign. Do you understand the nature of the charge?
Yes.
The maximum penalty on that I'm required to tell you about is up to a $2,650 fine and 4 points on your driving record. Do you understand the maximum penalty?
Yes.
The second charge is it's alleged that you violated section 1,409, no proof of insurance required of an owner or operator. Do you understand the nature of that charge?
Yes.
And that charge has both a minimum and a maximum penalty. The maximum penalty is 4 points on your driving record and a fine of up to $2,650. It also has a legislature, their passed statute requiring a minimum fine of $500, which can be mitigated down to half that if showing mitigation by difficult circumstances or subsequent insurance. You understand the minimum and maximum on the no proof of insurance?
Yes.
You were provided the written advisement of legal rights. Did you get a chance to read and review your legal rights?
On basic Miranda's,
No, there's a sheet we passed out,
the one that.
the one that you signed here.
I looked that over.
Okay. Basically describing your right to have a trial, be presumed innocent. If you plead not guilty, the prosecutor has to prove you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, and all your rights you have at trial. Do you have any questions about those rights?
No.
Do you feel you understand them?
Yes,
Do you know what a trial is?
yes,
And you understand you have a right to hire an attorney?
yes.
I don't have any paperwork indicating any plea agreement with the prosecutor. What would you like to do with your case?
I was driving uninsured. I was in that stop sign. I owe a fine. I paid my due diligence.
Okay. Not to talk you into anything, on the insurance charge, I know there's nothing the prosecutor can do. If you wanted to talk to him about the stop sign charge, about some other charge.
Well, I am a little confused because I am fully registered to the state of Oregon and we don't have a point system at all. So.
Oh, you have the major minor violations.
Yes, and with this violation, I did check into the DP. I'll still be okay through my Oregon licensing.
Okay,
So I don't.
then there's no reason for you to do otherwise.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, I know, I forgot, I didn't read where your license was from.
It's totally fine, and I understand. I just.
Illinois has major minor, Oregon has major minor, Massachusetts has major minor instead of points, so.
Yep,
All right, that's fine. I just have to advise you according to Colorado law.
I understand.
It's a checklist I'm required to go through. So you understand if you plead guilty to these two charges, you are giving up all the rights listed in the right sheet, which means there'll be no trial, there'll be no witnesses. The prosecutor will not have to prove you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. You are giving up your presumption of innocence and right to an attorney.
That's true.
Did anybody threaten you, force you, coerce you, or otherwise make you plead guilty against your will?
No, sir.
Did anybody promise you anything that's not been said in court?
No, sir.
Is this your free and voluntary plea?
Yes.
Are you under the influence of anything that affects your ability to make a decision?
No, sir.
Now that we've covered all that, how do you plead to the charge of failure to stop at a stop sign?
Guilty.
How do you plead for the charge of no proof of insurance?
Guilty.
Court accepts both pleas, find them to be freely, voluntarily, and knowingly made. You're entitled to make a statement and welcome to, but not required to. Is there anything further you'd like to say?
I wasn't paying attention.
Okay.
As simple as that.
And the court will impose the scheduled fines plus this cost. Do you have insurance now?
Yes.
Okay. So it'll be $75 on the stop sign charge.
Okay.
And on the no proof of insurance, the best I can do on that is $250.
That's reasonable.
And that gets you to $320. The required court cost of $25 and surcharge imposed by town council takes you up another $55 to $375. Do you need time to pay that?
2 weeks would be nice.
All right, we'll just make it to before our next court session.
Okay.
So we have a deadline in there. We just put those or appear by that date to explain why you didn't get it paid.
Okay.
All right, please see the court clerk for paperwork. You're just right here.
Yeah, I can help you there. Okay.
Josette Medina. Good evening, Ms. Medina. You were summoned to court to answer charges that you violated the model traffic code section 1101 speeding 10 to 19 miles an hour over the posted limit. Do you understand the charge speeding?
Yes, I do.
The maximum penalty is a fine of up to $2,650 and 4 points on your driving record. Do you understand the maximum possible penalty?
Yes, I do.
You were provided the written advisement of legal rights. You chance to read and review your legal rights.
Yes,
Do you have any questions about your legal rights?
no,
Do you feel you understand them?
yes, I
And you
do.
know what a trial is?
No, yes, I do.
You understand you have a right to an attorney?
Yes.
I have paperwork that says you wish to enter into agreement with the prosecutor. Plead guilty to a 3-point special hazard speeding. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
You understand that by doing that, you would be giving up all the rights listed in the right sheet, which would mean there's no trial, no witnesses. The prosecutor will not have to prove you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. You are giving up the presumption of innocence and right to an attorney.
Yes.
Can anybody threaten you, force you, coerce you, or make you plead guilty against your will?
No,
Anybody promise you anything that's not been said in court?
no,
Is this your free and voluntary plea?
yes,
Are you under the influence of anything that affects your ability to make a decision?
No.
Now we've covered that. How do you plead the 3-point speeding?
guilty.
The court accepts your plea, find be freely, voluntarily, and knowingly made. You're entitled to make a statement and welcome to, but not required to before I impose sentence. Is there anything you'd like to tell me?
Yes, I had a rough month in February. My dad was diagnosed with dementia, so pretty emotional. But if there's anything I could do to help reduce the fine or the points or anything like that, I'm willing to take classes.
The points are up to the prosecutor, which we've just agreed to in this agreement.
Yeah.
I can look at the fine. And then you've answered the question I was going to ask, because I noticed you had a ticket earlier this year in February. And it's common knowledge or training, when we go to judges conference, if you see someone having a recent spat of tickets, you need to ask what's going on in their life. It could be a divorce, it could be a death in the family, it could be
Yeah.
medical circumstances. So you need to be aware what's going on with you emotionally can come out in your foot.
Yeah. I uprooted my whole life from Denver to Leadville to be with my dad.
Well, it's great that you're
Yeah.
doing that for him. It's a rough road. I have family members who've gone through that, so I appreciate the difficulty that lies ahead. But on the other hand, we still need you to
Yes.
make adjustments
Yeah.
in your outlook so that you can still maintain
Right.
a good driving
And I
record.
got a good job here in Frisco and I drive a lot for work, so I just let's make sure.
Well, I can help you with the fine. I don't think you need a driving class. I think it's your overall skill. It's your emotional state, which hopefully you're getting a handle on.
I
Okay. All right. So that's only going to be a $50 fine instead of the 140. But there are the court costs of 25 and the surcharge of 30. So that's going to be 105.
Okay, thank you.
That's a substantial. Can you pay that today or do you need time?
Anytime.
All right. You can get that paid by July 17th, I assume?
Yes, I can.
we'd like to see it sooner, but that's
Yes,
what I'm putting down. Otherwise, appear back here to explain why you need an extension and what's going on.
okay, sounds great, thank you
All
so
right.
much.
Please talk to one of my clerks about your
All
paperwork.
right, thank you.
Naco's Gomez. Good evening, sir. Sir, you've been summoned to court to answer charges and allegations that supposedly you violated model traffic code section 1101, speeding 10 to 19 miles an hour over the posted limit. Do you understand the nature of the charge?
Yes.
The maximum penalty is 4 points on your driving record and a possible fine as high as $2,650. Do you understand the maximum penalty?
Yes.
You were provided a written advisement of legal rights. Do you have a chance to read and review your legal rights?
Yes.
Do you have any questions about those rights? Do you feel you understand them?
Yes.
You know what a trial is?
Yes.
And you understand you have a right to an attorney. I don't have any paperwork and a note you'd like to enter a plea of not guilty and have a trial, is that correct?
Yes.
Court will enter a plea of not guilty. We're required to do that within 90 days, so our next court is July 17th. And so there'll be no postponements. You'll have to make that trial date, or you have to waive the speedy trial. If something comes up and you need a postponement, you will have to give up your speedy trial right in order to get that postponement. Is that all clear?
Yes.
All right. If you need subpoenas for witnesses, please contact the court clerks. They provide subpoenas at no cost. However, proper service of them is up to you in accordance with the court rules, which may cost you money from the sheriff or private process server. All right, we'll see you back here July 17th. We have no idea what our docket will look like, so
5:15.
5:15, 5:30. Okay, let's say 5:30, I guess. Well, let's say 5:15. Any questions? Very good. Please see my court clerks for paperwork reminders. We'll see you in July. Why don't you just sign this one?
Notes to the plea agreement on this.
Okay. Well, there's another one I didn't sign. Didn't sign. I swear I signed this. Okay, there should be two in there. Carlos Bolden Mercado. Good evening, sir. Okay, sir, you were summoned to court to answer charges and allegations that supposedly you violated section 1402 of the model traffic code, careless driving. Do you understand the nature of the charge, careless driving?
Yes, Your Honor.
The maximum penalty is up to 4 points, 4 points on your driving record and a fine of up to $2,650. Do you understand the maximum penalty?
Yes.
You were provided a written advisement of legal rights. Did you get a chance to read and review that?
Yes.
Do you have any questions about your legal rights?
No, Your Honor.
Do you feel you understand them?
Yes, sir.
Do you know what a trial is?
Yes, sir.
And you understand you have a right to hire an attorney?
Yes, sir.
I don't have any paperwork giving me a suggestion. How do you wish to handle the case?
I would like for a continuance.
Okay. I noticed this was rescheduled once before. I can grant it to July, but there would be no postponements after that.
That time, Your Honor. Thank you.
July 17th at 4:30. All right, please see my clerk for paperwork. And that, I think, concludes our docket. Or is there one more out there?
One more.
One more? Okay.
You're paused. Where is that gentleman from?
Say that again.
Was he from Oregon? That
Or,
makes it kind of hard to enforce things.
yeah, I don't like the major minor systems, but a bunch of states.
Does that work?
Yeah, I think in this, I'm not sure this is correct, but approximately, it's like you can have. I think it's three minor or four minor offenses in any 3-year period before they suspend your license or you take license action. And you can have a second, if you get a second major, there's license action. But if all of them are minor, like,
That water's yours.
yes. Thank you. I apologize if I mispronounce your name. You can help correct me. It looks like it's Maher Dawoodi.
Yeah, he said pretty good.
Close enough.
Most people mess it up. Maher, yeah, he said it.
Well, are you Ethiopian?
I'm Syrian actually.
Syrian.
Yeah.
Well, I have
Of course.
an Ethiopian daughter-in-law, so I get sort of the Mideast pronunciation.
Okay,
Could you come to the podium, sir?
sure.
Sir, I need to advise you of the nature of the charge. You've been summoned to court to answer allegations that you supposedly violated Model Traffic Code Section 703, failure to stop at a stop sign. You understand the nature of the charge.
Oh, yes, Your Honor.
The maximum possible penalty is $2,650 and 4 points on your driving record. Do you understand the maximum penalty?
Yes, Your Honor.
You were provided a written advisement of legal rights. Did you have a chance to read and review your legal rights?
Oh, yes, Your Honor.
Do you have any questions about those rights?
No, Your Honor.
Do you feel you understand them?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you know what a trial is?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you understand you have a right to an attorney?
Yes, Your Honor.
I have paperwork that says instead of a trial, we wish to enter into agreement with the prosecutor to plead guilty to an amended charge of 2-point defective vehicle. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
You understand if you do that, you'll be giving up all the rights listed in the right sheet, which means there'll be no trial, there'll be no witnesses. The prosecutor will not have to prove you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. You are giving up your presumption of innocence and right to an attorney.
Yes, Your
Did anybody threaten you, force you, coerce, or otherwise make you plead guilty against your will?
Honor. No,
Does
sir.
anybody promise you anything that's not been said in court?
No, sir.
Is this your free and voluntary plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you under the influence of anything that affects your ability to make a decision?
No, Your Honor.
Now we've covered all those points. How do you plead to defective vehicle?
I'm good.
Court accepts your plea, find you freely, voluntarily, and knowingly made. You're entitled to make a statement and welcome to, but not required to, make a statement about what happened or what the penalty should be. But again, you're welcome, but not required.
Like I said, I haven't had a ticket in like 15 years. And I'm new up here and actually working up here now. I'm taking auction. So
Oh, very good.
yeah, it was so yeah, just new to the area, but
Okay. $50 fine, $25 court cost, $30 surcharge. See, if my math is good. $105. Can you pay that today?
yes, Your Honor.
Please see my court clerk. Is that the docket?
I can.
I believe so, Your Honor.
Yes, that's it.
Looks like it.
two off the record things. One could be on the record. On all the 6-point speedings, even when they're reduced, I want them to take a driving class.
Gotcha.
So either warn them the judge is going to add that or just go ahead and add it.
Okay, fair enough.
The other thing is more in your firm city attorney role, and we'll go off record about that.
It's been off the record.
Oh, cool. I haven't seen any more from Mr. Ginsburg. Are you
He,
familiar with that?
No.
now
Oh.
Thad's been dealing with it.
Okay.
He made that last complaint to the Secretary of State and they did a no file on it.
He's a local nutcase.
Is this the guy that was like running for mayor that got the
Yes.
signature?
Well,
Yes,
like
but not even on time.
almost 20 years ago, I represented him briefly because it came as, didn't you see the letter attached? There's a
I
letter.
don't read his stuff.
Oh, well, there's a letter attached to his elections complaint where I wrote to his father, who's an attorney in Denver, saying, John says you referred him, thanks for the referral. He says he's the beneficiary of 2 trusts. Would you please send me the trust agreements? That's what he attaches to his election complaint. And
Nothing about the
subsequently, I
land.
find out from the father, he didn't refer him that his son's a nutcase. Fast forward 20 years. And he filed this election law complaint because the muni election was canceled because the number of candidates equaled the number of positions.
Yeah.
And he filed this complaint naming me as municipal court judge that I ordered the election closed, which actually I had absolutely nothing to do.
Which of course you don't, because the election being closed is operated under the CRS and not the municipal code that you are charged with enforcing.
Correct.
Yeah.
So anyhow, but I've also, this was probably 2 years ago, one time walking out of here in the summer, he was walking by with his dog and he started yelling at me about that I cheated him and ruined his life. And so that's when I decided to